going. That wasn't good. Oops. My bad. But hello! Hi! Happy weekend. Hi. Oh, thank you for checking in, Gren, and thank you for checking in, Ripco. Busy workday, so won't stick around autoclave. That's completely fine. Hope you have a good day at work. Hopefully not too crazy and busy. Oh, and thank you for the subscription, Gren. 8 months, let's go. 8 whole months of subscriptions, wow. Thank you so much. That's very, 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 very thoughtful of you. I appreciate all the little bits of support. I think we're gonna have enough, I think, soon to do another donation to a different cancer charity organization. So that's exciting, I think I'll have to figure out where I want the donation to go to next. What fun organization which cancer org should I want to go to this time? But that's a problem when we have it. Anyway, today's just a draw and yap as I freeze to death. It is incredibly, incredibly cold, and you know, if you're not from America right now, I feel like most Americans right now are dealing with the cold, and it's also going to be a huge snowstorm in like 80% of the country. Ice, snow, whatever, some kind of not good weather. Yay, I'm glad my negativity is going to a good cause. Yeah, I am happy it can go somewhere good as well and bring awareness to some necessary research. It's very important. And we've donated a good chunk. I'm pretty happy with how much our little community has been able to give back to these organizations. We got a cool hat the other day too. I haven't sent the picture yet, but we got a fun hat from one of the organizations we donated to. That's like white and it says the name of the organization and it says Defy Cancer on the back. I wanted to figure out how I can put that on my model. Just like as a fun thing. Oh, you lied! Absolute liar that you didn't have time for autoclaving. I made time for it. That's okay. I appreciate you making time for it. That makes me happy, even though it went successfully. I got a text from the governor of Louisiana saying to stay off the roads. I got one yesterday too. Yeah, do not. If you are in that winter storm area, which is like most of the east coast to the Midwest, do not go out. Don't go out. It's not worth it. And also, you should probably prepare, but it might be a little late if you're listening to me say you should prepare. I had to end stream really early yesterday because I realized I didn't have some of the supplies I wanted. Like, I wanted to make sure to grab some water bottles. And I was reminded I didn't do that. So I had to go end stream and grab water. I don't think it's gonna be like end of the world like storm like some people are preparing. Some people are, I think, you know, they're almost like doom preparing. Which isn't a surprise. That always happens if there's any kind of like warning, big weather. When I went to the grocery store yesterday, there were so many people there. It was insane. And there were so many things, like the shelves were kind of like completely gone of things. There was no bread. There was no like sandwich related things. There was just like nothing that, you know, people buy in emergencies. It was just crazy. My family already prepped it, but there wasn't much prep to do. It won't be the end of the world, but it'll be cold as hell. Yeah, I know. It's some people. It's gonna be pretty cold, and also there chances, like at least in my area, the chances are people might be without heating, and That's not good. That could be the end of the world for some people. No heating in that kind of cold is yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Especially here, there are a lot of old apartment buildings that can like easily stop functioning. Our city is just kind of not great for that level of snow. Hi, Chris. Hello. Hope you're having a good day. I missed last stream. Don't worry, Chris. I did it. I only streamed for like 30 minutes. I had to go do some winter storm preparation. I had to go be a responsible little microbe. It's all good, though. It's all good. Hope you are having a beautiful day. Oh, thank you. I am having a beautiful day. I had a very tasty dinner, and I did a lot of work today. I finished editing another video. I'm trying to get back into that groove of editing. I would like to release a video every other day, but you know, we'll get there. I was playing the new Arknights game and lost track of time. I was at Enfield. I've heard a lot of people talking about it. Do you like it? I've never been a big like gacha person, so I didn't like check any of that out, but I've heard my friends saying they really like it. It looks pretty. I say I'm not a big gacha person, but I think I would really like gachas. It's just, there's such a time commitment, and this is coming from someone that plays MMOs. They just suck up. I know you can like, you do what you can. Like, you don't have to be FOMO'd into doing dailies every single day, but after a while, it just starts kind of like hacking up on you. I barely do my Uma Musume dailies. I like gambling for cute girlies with cool outfits. They are cute. I have seen the Arknight art, and it's really, really pretty, and the girls are really cute. So I don't blame you. I've never played a gacha game before. Probably for the best. You know, gacha games, they're kind of like a gateway. I think my first gacha game is probably I guess it'd probably be Love Live School Idol Festival. That was the super old Love Live rhythm game. That was the franchise game where the sequel came out, and then it got announced end of service at the same time that the sequel was coming out. Hi, Beppo! Hi, hope you're having a good Saturday. But I guess nowadays, I don't really find myself drawn to like any gacha games. Even when I think the girls are really cute too, I just don't feel very compelled, you know? I'm cold. I am too. It's so cold here. I think like, it's like 15 degrees Fahrenheit, -9 Celsius here. It's freezing. I'm at the mercy of my apartment's heating. Because I don't have a thermostat or anything. I'm just like, if it gets too cold, you have to wait until like it auto detects and starts kicking back into like heating up the apartment. And right now it like turned off, and now it's gonna get really cold, and then I have to wait again for the heating to come back on automatically. I mean, my apartment's heater, it's a steam like water heater, and it makes like the funniest noise. all of a sudden in the middle of the night you just hear, and then it just starts a bunch of steam, like steaming. It just starts steaming all over the place. You get used to it though. Oh, hi, I don't feel as well as I wish to be. Hope you and pray you are well in regards to storm. Oh, Joseph, I'm sorry that you don't feel so well. Take it easy. And thank you for the well wishes. I'm sure we're gonna be fine here. And if the apartment doesn't hold up, there are places I can go. So, no worries, no worries. I think at most it will just be a minor uncomfortable experience. And also, I just won't be able to... I just won't leave the house. I'm just so tired of winter already. I hate not being able to leave the house. I hate not having nice walky weather. Every time you have to, like, if you want to go outside in winter, it's such a hassle. I hate having to put boots on. I hate having to put a winter coat and layers and a scarf and a hat. It's just so much to do every single time you want to leave the house. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. We're stuck on the winter arc. It's my least favorite arc of the year. I say that until we get into the summer seasons, and then I go, I hate summer. Why is it so sweaty and gross and everything sucks? I think maybe I just don't like extreme weather. I think I just want to live in can I have like neutral? I'm okay with chilly. Chilly is fine. Chilly is okay. Like a hoodie weather? That's fine. Anything else? I guess t-shirt weather is also fine. But the nice thing with summer, at least, is I can still go on a walk. Walking is nice. When I can't go on a walk, it just feels awful. Summer makes me sleepy, I think. I think winter makes me way sleepier. When my apartment gets super cold, I just end up migrating to the couch or something and like get into blankets, and I will fall asleep just like that right there. Whereas like when it's summer and really hot, what are you supposed to do? You're just really hot and uncomfortable, and then how can you sleep when you're hot and uncomfortable? Impossible. Actually impossible work. I also think winter food, I'm just thinking about the seasons, I think winter food is just so much better too. Like soups are just so much better than summer food. That's like the only thing winter has going for it. I do love me a good hot pot, some winter vegetables. Winter also has nice fashion. I'm a much bigger sucker for winter fashion than summer fashion. I gotta give the season 10s where I can. It's not completely a hopeless season. There's cute fashion. It's just really cumbersome, you know? It's just so annoying. Maybe my body thinks the heat is cozy or is just trying to escape the heat by putting me to sleep so I could function more when the sun is about to go down. You know, that's probably it. I mean, I am getting sleepy in the winter usually because I'm in the blankets and I'm warm. So it's kind of like heat in a way. It's just summer is... It gets into the uncomfortably too hot territory. At least with like winter heat, you can kind of control it, like how putting blankets on or off, on and off, socks on, layers on. Speaking of layers, I am bundled up right now. I've got the winter socks, the pajamas, the hoodie. If I could wear gloves, I would be wearing them right now, but I don't have any. I don't have any gloves that would work while I stream. I don't like how that looks. Why is it looking off? Maybe I should reconnect this. Hold on. I think the part that really gets me about winter is just the sun. The sun not being there for most of the day is depressing. But you know, I'm counting up the minutes. Every single day we're getting 2 more minutes of sunlight, you guys. Every single day, 2 more minutes. And soon we'll be back at... Soon we will be back at a time where daylight is actually there when I come out of work. I don't like that either. We don't really get snow here, so heating machines aren't really popular. It still does get cold. Interesting. It's kind of... I guess if you don't have like heaters like that, it's a bit different. And cold is always relative. Like maybe it's not like here, it's quite cold, like -9. But for other places, it could still be cold and it might not be anywhere that cold, you know? I can't get this side bang. The side bang does not want to work with me here. Maybe like that. I like that. My dad just said we're gonna eat somewhere. Bye. Oh, bye, Gren. Have a nice time. Eat well. I just had a yummy dinner myself. I remembered to cook. I cooked right before stream. I should post the picture of it. I'll post it after stream. I forgot. I even took a picture of it because I was like, that was tasty. Or it looks tasty. I had steak and pumpkin and radish. And what else did I have? Steak, pumpkin, radish, and kimchi. I think it just feels cool because we're mostly used to tropical times and we don't have heating machines. That's what I mean. Like, if you're used to way warmer weathers, then it doesn't have to be -9 Celsius to feel cold like it does here. Whereas I'm pretty used to, like, I feel like I am used to the weather being, it's never too hot, except sometimes lately. Lately, the summers have been really, really, really hot. But that's global warming for you. I guess is fine. Serviceable. Okay. I've been in like a huge drawing mood lately. And it's mostly because I feel like I didn't get to draw as much as I wanted last year. Last year it felt like I didn't do any of the things I had planned for drawing-wise. Not even like, it wasn't even like an issue of sometimes, you know, artists, they have, oh, they're so busy with business-related art and they can't get time to do their own personal art. This time I just felt like I didn't do any of the art that I actually wanted to. I didn't get the business related art I wanted to get done, aka like any streaming related assets and stream related things. And then I also just didn't draw I didn't draw as much personal art as I wanted to. And so I feel like this year I kind of want to change that. I want to try to do something like once a week, like at least finish quote unquote finish a drawing. My dad said it's starting to get as hot as the Kuwait desert here when he visited. It didn't used to be like this when I was a child. Yeah, I mean, it's getting quite hot everywhere you go now. It's not good. It's not good. It's really not good. My area used to never be that hot in the summertime. But nowadays, it's it's becoming the norm. It's becoming the norm that the summers are incredibly devastatingly hot. And that can't be good. That cannot be good. That's a little off. Like that. I like that better. It sucks because these things are changing so fast and it's hard for policies like to keep up with it, to keep the citizens cooled down. It feels like there needs to be mandatory cooling now. It used to be a thing of like, of course you need to provide heating. Heating is very, very important. But now how do we handle things like it should be mandated that if you are gonna provide a place for someone to live, it needs to have a cooling option. But that's a very difficult thing to like put into practice. Because it's not just, you know, it's a lot to ask for all these buildings to change and be able to provide cooling. I've heard in some hot places you can cook things from the sun. I've seen things like that, yeah. I've seen people, it's usually like an egg. I've seen people post that like they cooked an egg by putting it outside. I saw this video is pretty old, but there's like a video that was going around again this week because of the super duper cold, and they were showing off how their plate of spaghetti was frozen, just putting it outside for a few minutes. And I was like, wow, that looks fake, but it was not fake. It was not fake. Their spaghetti was in fact frozen. It might be too cold, you know. Are we going through extreme hots and colds now? I don't know about cold. It is getting, I think it's just extreme weather in general. That has to do with some climate change, like climate problems, yeah. I think a lot of places are getting very devastating weather. Like, it's happening in places where it's never happened, or it's like worse than it's ever been. It's not great. We gotta do something. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I guess be more conscious about what I'm doing, about the things I'm using, the resources I take up. Recycle. Compost. Don't leave my lights on. I have a very bad habit of doing that. I often forget to turn off my lights. I don't know why. I think my brain just forgets to turn off my kitchen light. It's been happening a lot. Hi, Frost. Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're having a good weekend. But it's we just do what we can, and that will be me turning off my light. Fix this. Having a great day today. Managed to force myself into the gym. That's great. I have to do that. I have to do that tomorrow. Well, I mean, not to the gym. I just mean do my exercise at home. Going to the gym is just too much work. But at least I can do stuff at home. It's always super frustrating that it's so... your body just feels so much better when you're actually actively going to the gym on a regular schedule compared to when you're not. It frustrates me how effective it is. Gymming at home, yep, stay safe with the crazy weather out there. I think even with the weather, I'd probably be gymming at home. I really don't like... going to the gym is just too much work. I just don't like packing my things and then going, like taking a 10-minute walk there. I already don't want to go to the gym, so I need to not have any barrier of entry when it comes to doing exercise, you know? I have so little excuse since I have a gym in the condo I live in, but I still feel so ick about it. I feel like everyone I know that has a gym in their apartment, they don't take advantage of it as they should, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you have a gym in your apartment. I gotta walk like 10 minutes outside and pack a bag and everything. That's why I had to buy like a bunch of I bought a bunch of like dumbbells and stuff, and I just leave them in my apartment building in my room, and then I pick them up when I need to and put on some kind of video. I really want to get a treadmill or a bike though. That's something I'd like to get. They're just so expensive. If you want a nice one, I guess you can get a cheapo one, and that wouldn't be so bad. Gyms here are far from me. They used to be pretty far from me too. I mean, mine's now is like maybe 10 minutes away, which isn't so bad, but I used to live in places where it might be as like a bus ride away, which is way too far. I'm gonna just say, when you have to take a bus ride to get to the gym and it's a 30-minute bus ride, there's just no way the brain will ever feel motivated to go get to the gym. I was more active when I had a social life back in my home country, even though the gym even though the gym was a 20 to 40 minute drive from home, my gosh, 20 to 40 minute drive. Oh, I couldn't. I would never. I do think a social life does help you feel a little bit more active, or like desire to be active. I am probably the most sedentary when I am not talking or doing anything with anybody, and I am just like a little crab in my shell, hibernating, waiting. I think like undergrad probably was the most active I was, mostly because the gym was like a 5-minute walk away, and also I lived on campus, and so it felt like there was a reason to go out and do stuff, and there was a social thing to do anywhere, and I can go around and go hi, hello, man. I just love that feeling of the undergrad campus. I yearn for that feeling, that kind of community as an adult. Where is our like adult, non-college related like campus living facilities? And people yearn for communities that are in walking distance with every single amenity they want. I guess there's actually things like that. When I've gone apartment searching and I decide to be fantasize that I can afford some of these $6,000 apartments, I go, oh wow. And they have like community, they really advertise like, oh, we're such a nice community and we've got all these things, and they kind of describe what feels like a undergrad campus in a way, because it's got literally everything you would ever want, and they boast how you can, find friends and make clubs and do all that. And then I'm like, oh, but it costs $6,000. $6,000 a month. I guess it's just like college then. I'm introverted usually, but gosh, the community celebration can still hit when there's few enough people. Yeah, I'm like, I think I'm pretty introverted. I can go pretty long not dealing with anybody. But sometimes, I just want the presence of people. It's not that I want to actually interact with someone. It's more like I just want to sit there and like enjoy other people doing things. It's why sometimes I just go on a walk. I take a little walkie walk just to stare at other people and feel like I'm with other people. I think subconsciously my brain doesn't like working out because it feels like a waste of time. My brain's inner desire to create is, so if I'm made to push myself for workout creation has to be made, I'm considering blacksmithing. Whoa, blacksmithing, that's pretty cool. That's a very creative, fun pastime. I also don't like working out, Josem. I think it's good for you though. Even if it feels like subconsciously your body doesn't like it, I'm pretty sure your body is craving some physical activity, because that's just how we are biologically functioned. We are made to be moving, We're not made to be sitting around. It is only in recent times that we had the luxury of being able to sit around. Usually, we humans, we would have been moving. We would have been going to place, and like only laying down and sitting when it's like nighttime. And it sucks because I don't really like doing strength training, but you really have to be, unfortunately, you have to do it all. Like, you need to do cardio because, you need to move. You need to get your heart rate going up. You need to do all that, but you also need to do strength training because muscle mass is super important. And if you lose muscle mass as you get older, you're going to have a lot of problems. They ask to be a human, to be a functioning human. You really gotta do so much. They ask a lot out of us. I just got here. What are we talking about? Muscle mass? Oh, hi, Bambino. I was just saying that working out is incredibly important because, you know, if you don't work out, you're gonna feel the problems when you're older, because as you age, you're losing your muscle mass. And so you have to do everything. You kind of have to do strength training. You got to train your muscles, but then you also have to make sure your heart's healthy. You have to get your oxygen, you know, breathe in a lot of oxygen, get your heart rate pumping up. You can't just be one or the other. I want to get into bouldering fencing, but it's so expensive. Oh, I really like bouldering. I've never tried fencing. Bouldering is really fun. I've only really got to do it because it was really accessible in my college. But nowadays, yeah, it's expensive to get into that. So I've really gotten into yoga, and you know, it's such a nice thing to force in my routine whenever I'm not looking at a screen. There was a time when I would like try to do yoga in the morning. I was trying to be one of those people, you know, that had my life together, and I would go, I'm yogaing in the morning, and then I'm gonna go sign into my work computer. However, I realized it's just a lot. I'm really bad at doing these morning routine schedules. I just have a hard time waking up early enough in the morning consistently to do all this stuff that I want to do, like exercise right in the morning and then make breakfast and then go to work. However, yeah, it's a lot. Fencing is fun because you get to jump around while squatting. You get a lot of leg exercise and flexibility, and I feel I could like imagine that. You can't see it right now, but I'm like, I'm thinking about how that would sound fun, but I can't imagine the cost. I don't even know where I would go. Like, I'm sure if I Googled this, it would be somewhere in my area, and it'd probably be a buttload of money to get into a club. You're telling us you don't have your life together? I have my life together as much as an average person, I think, does. Maybe more. But I guess I mean like fake Instagram life together. You ever see those like fake routines? It's so crazy. The people that like record their get ready with me in the like my day in the life, and then they're like they wake up and they make their bed, and then they like do some stretches and drink some coffee and read a book, and it's like they did that from 6 to 7 a.m. and then they go on a walk and take a run, and then I feel like some people think that's what people who have their life together do, and I think that's like mental. I don't know. There's just no way these people actually exist. They probably do, but not in as much. They do not exist as much as Instagram and TikTok would make you think they do. I'm squatting on a chair to visualize. Yeah, I am. You can kind of see my model going up and down. Stretching is super neglected in a lot of the athletic fit people. I know it is. Stretching, it feels really good. I am a stretcher. I do love to stretch. I got tested recently, and I have like hyper like flexibility, which is not good. Apparently that means my like collagen that apparently means I'm gonna have like bone problems and arthritis later in the future. But I can stretch very goodly. There's one thing I like that involves working out but doesn't involve creation. Running. Maybe it's my inner caveman coming out to be a pursuing hunter. Probably. I could see that, Josem, but I can't say I'm a very big running fan. Movement by David inspired me to get really into stretching. I've seen that channel before. That means you need to stretch even more to ensure you don't get got by your body allowing unsafe stretching. Yeah, I do. Don't worry. I stretch as much as I can. It's more like I stretch in the morning, but I shouldn't. I should probably stretch more consistently in the morning, you know? It's only when I remember to do it, which is like maybe every other day. But I don't know why I don't do it every day, because I feel like I feel great when I do it. Stretching is the best way to prevent injury in physically demanding activities. Yeah, it's just really good for you. It is surprising. You go to I've gone to gyms and people don't really stretch. They just kind of go at it. They just start going at it at the gym, and I'm like, oh, okay. Where did the anti-stretching beliefs come from? Or more like, why don't people stretch? It's like the easiest thing to do. It's like the fun thing to do because it's so easy. It's not even hurting me. It just feels good. If only I can go in and out of the gym by going, yep, doing some stretches. All right, peace out. Alas. I am just so bored at the gym. That's my biggest problem. And I feel like I've said I'm bored at the gym before, and then people go, well, you shouldn't be bored because, you should be focusing on your exercise. And I am focused. Don't worry, I'm locked into what I'm doing. It's more like all I think about is, ow, everything hurts. I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. I hate it. My body hurts. My muscle hurts. Where's the payoff? Where is it? Where is it? The payoff comes way later. Ancient humans hunted down by running down their prey, while other animals may be faster than humans have high stamina and endurance. So while when animals get tired, the animals wouldn't, and the humans wouldn't, and they would eventually catch up to the animal. Yeah, we are very high stamina. You wouldn't think that though. I feel like a lot of people nowadays, their stamina is not stamina-ing. It's easy to boo-hoo, we all feel it. All we can do is move forward and hope that payoff will arrive, and the things we put effort in and work on tend end up wonderful. It's very true. Though I feel like, I don't know, when I talk to some people, they're like, don't you feel the wonderful joy of working out, as you're working out? I'm like, no. I don't feel anything when I'm working out. I feel like this sucks, but I gotta do it. I often get to get myself out of the what if I fail mindset with a what if I don't. That is a good mindset to have. You really want that what if I don't. I think you should approach a lot of things in life with the what if I don't. You can't scare yourself out of failing when you don't even try. Sometimes I awaken my inner caveman when I run or just watch fire. I think I had that, I think I've felt that before, Josem. That feeling of caveman instinct of unga bunga, I'm running, unga bunga, I see fire. Don't set things on fire though. Don't be dangerous. Fire, don't play with fire. Do not just set random things on fire. I feel like that's when I was a child, I really liked randomly setting things on fire in my bathroom, with a candle light. And then I stopped that. I turned 8, and then I went, okay, that's enough. I'm just setting fire to TP and then watching it burn in the sink going unga bunga. There's fire. Maybe my desire to create is just a caveman brain pushing me to create tools for survival. Perhaps. Maybe that's why you want to make, you want to do things with utility so much. You're thinking about survival. Good for you, Josem. You're gonna survive when the cold winter hits us all. You'll have the tools. Meanwhile, I don't have anything. Oh, the heater's back on. I just heard the thing go. It's just blasting over there, trying to get the steam out. Skills to pay the bills. When the water wars rage on because AI has eaten up all the water resources, we'll all have to figure out what our skills are to live in this world. I think I need a cybernet. I've been seeing so many things about RAM prices, you know, if you're not familiar, it's like AI is making RAM super expensive and the world is sucking right now because AI everywhere, AI. I've been at my job, it even feels like I don't feel much sciencey stuff right now because I've just been working with AI related tools. It's like they're trying to make me figure out how to optimize my job for AI, so then eventually in the future I will not have a job and then I just have an AI. There's an AI tool taking my job, you know? It is very cool though. Right now AI can't do what I do, but I could see it in like years time that it can do what I'm doing. Oh, thank you for checking in, Weetabix. Hello. I've tried sharpening rocks when I was younger. It was fun but tedious, and sharpened rocks are quite brittle. Are they? I don't think I've ever sharpened rocks when I was little. I did collect rocks. I think every kid has done that rock and stick collection, right? I picked up rocks and sticks and then threw them in like the garage and gone, these are my precious rocks and sticks. Children are so caveman brained. I'm just thinking about what I've done as a kid and it's like, what were you thinking? You don't need to do this anymore. You have a home. You have technology. You can't break biological instinct, I guess. I had a rock collection too. I really liked those rocks. I don't think my rocks were ever that impressive, honestly. I don't think I ever had anything like a rocks that I would go, oh my gosh, those rocks were so amazing. They were just kind of like normal. They were normal stones that you would find anywhere. I still have a rock collection. Nothing wrong with having a rock collection. There are people out there who have huge, amazing, beautiful rock collections. They're mineral collections as well. Whatever you want to call it. I always wanted like some pretty rocks and minerals, but they're kind of expensive. I remember I went to this, and during Christmas I went to around the Christmas time, I went to like a market and they were selling pretty pink rocks, and I was like, those are really pretty. And I was like, I'm not paying $20 for this. So I just like looked at them and I was like, okay, that's nice. That's cool. They were regular stones back then, though my mom really likes fancy minerals, and we have a pretty bismuth rock at home. Oh, that's nice. Which rocks are better, smooth or rough? I'm a smooth rock fan. I gotta give it to Team Smooth Minerals, Smooth Rocks. I like that feeling of like smooth. Especially if they're like pebble smooth shaped, and I can just rub like the rock together between my two fingers. It's a nice feeling. It's a nice feeling. Not $20 worth. Not $20 worth of feeling, though. I was at that market just going, that's pretty nice. And then, you know, promptly put hand sanitizer on because everyone that walked by that market probably did the same thing. They are weird rocks, gray with white. Some have shiny green specks, some are red color, some are fluorescent one white, some are volcanoes. Wow! That's a lot of fun rocks. I feel like depending on the area you live in, you can get quite cool rocks. I can't say in my urban American area I see many cool rocks like lying around. But I'm also not really looking at the ground that much. Okay, I think I can just start coloring. Or maybe I can keep editing. Maybe if I went to the park and like really stared at the ground, I'd find some cool rocks. Not in the winter though. Especially not after the storm. There's not gonna be, it's gonna be snow all over the ground. Okay, let's do a base. No. Can you do that? Thank you. Why doesn't it want to enclose and fill? This tool does not want to do what it's supposed to do. Whatever. Fine, I'll do it myself. It still doesn't want to do what I say, but you know, close enough. Now I can grow my own special rocks using chemicals. Growing your own rocks, not natural rocks, GMO rocks. Not rocks created, handcrafted by nature itself. All GMO bad, exactly. All GMO bad. GMO bad. Unnatural bad. Chemical bad. I sent what bismuth crystal looks like in Nico's chat. Oh, let me take a look. Oh, pretty. I have seen these. Those are very cool. I was looking at those at that same market where I saw the pretty pink rocks, and it was pretty fun to touch them. Dihydrogen monoxide. Ew. Ew. Oh, gross. How could you drink a dihydrogen monoxide? That's just water, though? Yeah, it is. That's what they want you to think. DHMO, big DHMO is trying to make you think it's just water. The joke is that it's like making fun of people who have chemophobia. There's like a lot of silliness when it comes to that. Bananas can produce antimatter. Jokes on all, I need you to clarify what you mean by this. I am not familiar with what this could mean. What do you mean they can apparently produce antimatter? You just dropped a knowledge bomb like that. I think people's chemical phobia is so silly. Whenever I hear the word chemicals, I always just it's so strange, so strange. People say the word chemicals with such disgust, like chemicals, not like chemicals. It's very funny seeing that behavior towards like they keep finding new ways to say chemicals. I've seen people say this, like, have the same disdain for the word molecule. Oh, there's molecules. I'm like, what are you saying? What is that smell? I think a neighbor is cooking and it's like seeping into my apartment for some reason. Unprompted, like unwanted cooking smells reaching my nose. According to Symmetry magazine, it's because a banana creates a single positron across the course of its life due to the presence of potassium-40. Bananas are radioactive and some of the radiation interactions can produce very little antimatter. Oh, interesting. I had no idea. Why are bananas so interesting? Why are they so fascinating? Who came up with them? Who said that's what they should do? Welcome back, people that dealt with an ad. Hello, hello. I was just thinking about bananas having antimatter. Or producing antimatter. I quote that, but I know zilch about physics and what the presence of a positron implies and whether radioactive elements have this kind of interaction. I'm there with you. I know it's like one of those things where you know what the words mean and you have a kind of an idea of what they're trying to say, but if I'm trying to like actually break that down and understand why and what, I can't explain that to you. But you know, if someone feeds me that factoid, I get what they mean. That's the basis of my physics knowledge. Physics. I hated physics in college. Interesting class. Interesting subject. Sorry to the physicists in my chat. It was very interesting subject. Can't say the class was taught in a very interesting way though. Would be real funny if every radioactive element pops out of positrons and my O turns into an O. Yeah, I love physics. A lot of my profs used to hate me asking questions though. I always wondered, I've never seen a professor actually get upset at a student asking questions. I feel like all the professors I saw, they were begging people to ask questions. They're like, please just say something in our class. Don't just be quiet. Just say something. I swear, when you have a silent lecture, it's probably like streaming. You're streaming to a dead chat and you're just kind of having to go along with what you're saying and you got nothing to work off of. You got no one telling you everything's okay. You got no one saying, yeah, I get it, or LMAO, or you got nothing. You're just dead audience. We learned about piezoelectric crystals that create electricity from kinetic energy. I went, that's so cool. Is this used anywhere? I feel like you sound like you would be a dream student for most professors. Every professor I saw, they would go like, anyone care? Does anyone even like me? Does anyone even like my lesson? Does anyone even care about my lessons? Hello? I wasn't helping in the situation because I was also checked out in class. That is actually sad though. It is. It's rough. It's hard being a teacher. It was something I thought I would want to do, but it's a little rough. I think it gets better though I think I would definitely prefer to be one of those like professors at like a higher level classes when the class sizes are way smaller and usually their students care more and they actually ask questions and do a discussion and all that. But like if you're like a professor for the low level general education stuff, it's a rough time and you're probably gonna have to accept that silence most years. I love learning stuff. Didn't go to college though. Yeah. I mean, I love learning things too. Sometimes though, I have to say I'm a big supporter of going to university and college. Sometimes it's not the most conducive to learning. If you've gone there, you might know what I mean. Sometimes you're not learning. I learned a lot of class confidence since my primary role in elementary school was to ask stupid questions for my shyer friends. Aw, that's cute. Wrong blue. The thing I learned, people would pass me little sheets of paper or whisper questions to me that I'd ask the professor, or that is cute. The thing I learned most in college was to rely on myself and learn to love books rather than people. I think I learned quite a bit of how to basically navigate professional environments in college, like how to make professional relationships, like how to talk to people like in your field, how to network and all that. Learning like actual things. It gave me a stronger science background, but I had to do a lot of that myself. Profs can be quite challenging and not show up to their own office hours. Oh, I hated that. I hated when they wouldn't show up to their own office hours. Positrons are mainly emitted through beta decay, though stray electrons is most common under beta decay. When positrons and electrons collide, it creates a matter and antimatter destruction. I do know that. And they ghost emails too. Oh, I didn't experience the email ghosting, but I think that would drive me insane. Very important skills to have. Professionalism. Yeah, I think it's an underrated skill you gain in college. I know a lot of people did not kind of have that experience. A lot of people kind of just like they went to classes and they did their thing and they got their degrees and like got all that, but they didn't really talk to people. They didn't really talk to professors. They didn't really have any networks that they could utilize after they graduate, and now they're kind of struggling, which is not great. But then it also sucks because it's not like anyone really tells you should be doing that thing. I only kind of picked up that I should be doing that based on what I saw other people doing. I also think another important thing you learn there is kind of how to be, I don't want to say likable, but kind of likable. Like how to make yourself agreeable and likable in environments, like professional environments. You know, how to not be a jerk. I didn't really have to learn that lesson, but it's more like not telling someone, oh my gosh, you're so stupid when you get frustrated at someone. You just go, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. Kind of an important lesson. And then figuring out how to navigate those awkward situations professionally. Most of the new people who were from college, you could tell they were coming from college because they behaved that way. Yeah. It's hard. I've been hearing that a lot of people that are recent graduates lately, they are really struggling to like figure out the flow of professional workplace. They are not thriving in like an office environment and all that. I think I don't know the extent of how real these articles are. They could easily be over-reporting something that's like not at that many people. But from what I've seen with my own 2 eyes of interns that are younger, I will say they don't have that professionalism, and they don't seem to they don't know how to kind of fake it. You know what I mean? Like, not all of us don't like who actually really likes being at work. I mean, I like my job and I like doing my work, but do I really want to be there? Not really. The interns really sucked at like hiding that, masking that. Also, very important, settling disagreements could due to the pandemic as well. Yeah, I do think there's some issues with like how I think a lot of the younger people, they did have some rare social circumstances, and they might not be all there yet socially. On my side, it doesn't really feel like the professor is a problem. The system is. I can tell my professors excel at certain areas of subject, but the system limits them as to what they should teach. You know, that's an issue here too. It's not as much of a problem when it comes to undergrad and college. I don't think there's not really like anything telling them that they have to teach a certain subject like that in college, but it is an issue in like high school, middle school, elementary school in America. A lot of things are like, these need to be taught because it's going to be on the standardized test that everyone's going to take at a certain time of the year, and so we must teach this, and we don't really have time to teach other things outside of that, which is not great. I felt a lot of struggle working with younger folk who have used GPT to replace their college education and have robbed themselves of the agency to solve problems without it. Yeah. I I have noticed stuff like there seems to sometimes be when I've talked to some younger people. I figured that was it, Frost, when I like sounded it out loud. I was like Jippity, and I was like, what is that? And I was like, oh, GPT. It's kind. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of a cute way to say it. I know it's supposed to be parentheses derogatory, but it's kind of a cute way to say it. Jippity. There is an issue with that, I've noticed. I've been seeing this not from my own work experience, but from what I read. I'm a chronic Reddit reader, if you don't know, and I've been noticing a lot of younger people on Reddit lately. And something I've noticed is they will use something like AI to kind of defend. They first like their thread posts always have like a preface of, I asked ChatGPT about this thing, and like, can you tell me, like, am I right? Like, I feel like I believe ChatGPT, and they kind of need like this basis of understanding of like, they need someone to confirm if ChatGPT is right or wrong for them. I'm like, oh my gosh, we need some like self-reliance. Like, we need to be more self-sufficient here. You can figure this out yourself. Hello, Bardine. Hello. It flows off the tongue for me a lot. I don't demonize AI as well, but I feel like it really gives people the power to shoot their foot with clinical precision. I strongly prefer I ask ChatGPT about this rather than I ask my dad about this. I mean, it depends. I think a lot of people, I don't mind what people use ChatGPT for. I'm not like, again, I'm similar to you. I'm not going to demonize all AI use. I think at this point it is kind of a thing that's there, and there's no point demonizing it. It is what it is. And it's just more that if you're gonna use it, I would prefer that you have the capabilities of fact checking yourself if you can't believe, like, if you don't trust it. Like, you need to go ask, you need to go do the searches yourself. Or you should be good enough at like using ChatGPT to like make sure it's actually not hallucinating and giving you accurate sources. I think at this point you can make ChatGPT quite reliable, but it takes a lot more finessing than I think the average person is doing. And when they're using it like Google, when they just Google like how to this, or what's the answer to this. Or sometimes I've seen this. I think these are like very young people, like very young kids. They'll ask a problem that there's just no way anyone would actually have the answer to that information, because it's like something very personal. And then they ask, and then they go, well, I guess no one can help me. I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT. And then ChatGPT is just like kind of like confirming or like denying their like whatever way they angle that question, it's just going to confirm or deny whatever. And I'm like, that's sweetie, like, I think you just need to talk to someone, not ChatGPT. ChatGPT isn't going to get you the answer. I had someone at work comment on, oh, AI says this in a professional context. I was extremely uncomfortable with that. Yeah, it's becoming a common phrase at my job too, of to see like, oh, AI said this. AI should be used where people have less authenticity and don't have access to experts, not where they are expected to be experts. I agree with the self-sufficient take. You need to know where to find accurate information. You should know where to find accurate information. You should be able to do a little, I'm not even asking them to create like a citation sheet for themselves or whatever. They don't need to be experts at this thing after like searching it up for like an hour. I just want them to try to figure something out. Look at the things that AI is pulling, at least. I've worked around AI ethics spaces, and I really want major AI companies to push away from people talking about personal things, since they can't probably give the full picture and often give biased views of situations. Yeah, it's because I think a lot of people do use like AI in a way as like a placeholder for trying to talk to a friend or anything. It's definitely like filled that niche of like this. I want to talk to a friend about it, but I don't have friends, unfortunately. Otherwise, everyone's friend will tell them to break up with that toxic ex without knowing the full story when the person asking for you the toxic one. Yeah, things like that. It's really weird. I've seen like, I saw someone like, I think this was like a child that wanted to audition for like a K-pop company, and then they got an email and they said, like, I fed the email to ChatGPT and ChatGPT says I should have this audition like in the bag, and I still haven't gotten like a yes yet. Does anyone know why? It's like, why would ChatGPT know that you got this audition? Like, it has no information. It has no way of ever knowing anything except that you got like an email. I love seeing those animes where they ask stuff like, what is the largest bill? And then it'll say something wild followed by, according to me. That is so crazy. I've been tempted to do the same, to be honest, but I have enough social experience to know not to associate with a yes person who never holds you accountable. Yeah, you shouldn't. It's not good for your growth. I had someone check ChatGPT on a question of this factory sealed vial looks like it doesn't have enough of a specific product in it. The product in question has a very low weight of powder per vial, but no published image of full vials. Marketing photos are empty. Yeah, stuff like that's like, what exactly do you like want it to say? Even things, I see this often in I see people who are trying to lose weight and they say they've talked about how ChatGPT is really great for losing weight because I take a picture of my plate and then I ask it how many calories this is and then it gives me an estimate. I'm like, I don't think ChatGPT is gonna be able to tell you like anything aside from like the most rough estimate. There's no way ChatGPT would ever know like what the size proportion of what you're taking a picture of is, what that thing is made out of. It might not even identify the things correctly. How would it know like what oils or butter or whatever high calorie density invisible things you added to this? It's wild. Again, it's not. There are very appropriate cases of AI. Again, I don't demonize all uses. I have to use it at work. We have huge guidelines that are like hundreds of pages long for each cancer type in the world, and we need to figure out what genes are mentioned in these guidelines really fast. And I use AI to like quickly get that information pulled from these PDFs because there's like, why would I waste my time as a human to do that? With my use of GPT though, I think I've learned how to write like an LM. During boring school essays, I don't really think much about what I'm writing. I just keep writing words and next word and sentence. I just keep writing words and then the next over and over, and that seems to best fit and continue to do so until I fill a fake sentences that seem connected. So that's why I tend to finish first during boring essays compared to my classmates. Joseph, don't say that you write like an LLM. I'm sure you don't, but you should also. I guess it's hard. If you don't like writing, it's difficult to find yourself motivated by it, but man, I love writing. Writing essays were always my favorite thing to do in school. AI calorie counters do a decent if you give a full ingredient, even though I suggest for everyone to invest in a very simple tool for measuring. I could see it doing okay if you gave it the full ingredient list, but if you're doing all that, then I feel like you should just be like, you should probably just, like measure it yourself. Like you should just weigh what you're doing, and then if you know the weight of everything, and then you can calculate that yourself. You don't really need to do this take a snap a picture approach. And I've seen it for people do it for restaurant meals, and it's like, oh buddy, that restaurant meal that you just ate, you think it's 300 calories, buddy? They put half a stick of butter in there. We pass it along to shipping, receiving to contact the manufacturer, and pull all the questionable ones from storage pending an actual response, just so no one worries about things. That's good. Not everyone has a kitchen weighing scale at home. I mean, and as an accessibility, that's true. I forget that not everyone has that. It is quite cheap. I highly recommend getting a weighing scale. I feel like everyone should have that. I love my weighing scale. Even if you're not like, you know, watching what you eat, it's just so much more convenient to cook in a way like that with grams rather than cups, using cups and tablespoons. If I like the subject, I can think more, but when the topic is relevant to what I'm studying, it's best to finish it quick to do more important things. You know, this is like a heated topic of, you know, a lot of times engineers and scientists, they go like, why should I care about like my ethics studies and like all these humanitarian related classes? I don't care. I don't want to write an essay. I don't care about anything at all. Just, I'm gonna do what I can. But those things are super important, even though they're not related to your subject just exactly. You know, you should take the time to like learn how to write and communicate, even when you don't find the things very interesting or fun. Being able to properly communicate is just such a good skill, and it's a good way to get better at that is writing about things you don't care about at all. Sounds like Olive Garden. You'd think it's just Olive Garden, but if you go to any like French restaurant, chances are there's like butter on top of butter on top of butter on top of butter. If they have a sauce in there, you can guarantee that the butter train has landed in that. Oh gosh, about the write like A, I think that's one of my frustrating things. I'm always taking aggressive care to format my text and markdown, formatting my argument. I stole my writing style with writing like AI. I wind up being one of those frustrating writers who format things unusually, like using M dashes. I've never been a big M dash user, but yeah, AI has definitely co-opted the M dash. I feel bad for the M dashers. One thing I always highly recommend, I've talked about this list before, but Wikipedia has a great article on this like LLM based style writing, and I always think it's such a enlightening read because of how obvious some LLM writing is. Obviously, I think a lot of people nowadays can figure out when something is written with an LLM. It's usually mostly because formatting. There's a lot of formatting that people don't erase, like the way it creates bullets and headings, and it's like, buddy, and it has a rocket emoji. It's like, yeah, we get it. You use that. You use ChatGPT. But there's certain like writing techniques that you are so prominent in LLM writing, like using like the overuse of examples in threes. Everything is in threes. They always give everything in threes because that's like a good way of writing. Pretty much every restaurant secret is using way more butter and salt than you do at home. Yes, it's because people are so scared of using butter at home. But they will drop a nuke of butter right into your plate. I was a prospective distinction student in English language in my GCEs, but then I passed out in my exam, skipping 25% of it and getting an A anyway since it's marked in percentile. Oh wow. I work with AI so closely, I get a taste of baking soda in my mouth when I taste AI in someone's messages. I feel like I've seen so much AI writing now, and I work as a writer. I just see it, like I just know. I'm like, this is not human writing. This is not human writing. I've read enough papers now. Human papers. And the thing is, all of those things, it's not like they're innovative new writing styles. It's just all things that people have done before. Good, that's what all the good writers used to write. And now it's just been taken. It helps that forever, at least US schools used to the 5-paragraph paper format, so open 3 subjects closing is deeply ingrained in writing styles. Yeah, it's because there's so much of that. I mean, it's been trained on our material. It's not like it's coming up with anything new. It's just we've been given it all this info. That gives me so much grief knowing how much AI must be pervading the research space. Oh, it's it's a big problem right now. It's a huge problem in the academic publishing space, especially. Right now, there is a huge discussion going on about the peer review format of literature. So if you're not familiar with academic research or in general, usually when you do research, you want to, submit that research into these fancy journals, and then the journals have to peer review what you submitted to make sure your science is all right. Is this a good paper for this journal? Is the writing sound? Is the science sound? Does everything make sense? Is this actually done by the people who did this? Like, are these the right people? Everything good? And that's always kind of been the way journals and research has kind of gone. And nowadays, there are way too many papers being submitted right now. And all these journals just can't keep up with it. And it's because so many papers being submitted are, created with AI assisted. And what can they do? It's hard to. I don't think any researcher right now knows what the answer is to solving this dilemma. There's some researchers that are quite in the space of we probably need to get rid of the peer review format, but I mean that's gonna be a hard sell. There's also researchers that say maybe we should pay people to peer review, but then it's where's that money gonna come from? Who's paying for all of that? You think these journals that make so much money want to pay for that? No. I think every technology we create is subject to all facets of humanity, be it good or bad. Yes, that's true. And that's why, that's why people who want to go into fields of, creating anything, new knowledge, technologies, they should take an ethics class so they can better understand the facets of humanity and how that can be applied to their technology and research they created. We don't do the funny ethics class just for funsies. I think the journals make enough money they could afford to fund peer reviewers and accrediting and maintenance organizations. They certainly charge enough to everyone else. It is true that some of these journals charge exorbitant amount of money. If you ever want to submit to somewhere like Nature, the big guys of biological sciences, Nature, Science, Cell, any of those guys, it is an expensive thing. You would think it's not something you even have to pay for, but nope. I think the problem, though, it gets into the more low-tier, mid-tier journals. I don't know if they exactly make enough money to be able to cover all that. Hospitals gotta pay a lot for facility-wide subscriptions for a New England Journal of Medicine. Yeah. Yeah, it's so expensive. Every time I get paywalled, and I have to, when I'm on my personal PC and I gotta go sign on to my like academic institution account to get access to something, I go, my goodness, they were trying to charge me like $200 something just to access this paper. Nope, no thank you. It is incredibly stupid. But yeah, with how much money these companies, these organizations make, I could see a future where they start funding peer review. And I don't think that's too wild. Whenever I'm invited to do a peer review, it is a lot to ask for. It is like, I enjoy doing it. I do it because I want to give back to science and all that. But goodness, it takes so much out of your day. It's not like you can do it during work hours because it's usually not related to your work. I'm just there doing this in my personal time, reading and really carefully going through someone's paper and giving them comments and critiques, and I'm deciding the fate of their paper right here, right now. I'm like, I don't want to be reviewer number 2 and deny this person, so I'm gonna take my time and really read through this carefully. But who has, like, I don't get invited too often, but when I do, it's like, it's really is like a full stop. I'm gotta focus on this. I can't imagine some of the people who are more like popular with getting invited. I can't imagine how much time it takes. I feel like some of my bosses, they get invited to review papers so often, and then I go, what do you do? Is that all you do? Is this all? Individual use costs are crazy. I wonder who actually pays $50 for a single article. I can't imagine there's anyone out there who is like that willing to burn their money. The give back to science mindset is how they get you to, counting on that sense of professional pride and goodwill so they can list an article as peer reviewed, which they can then charge for. Exactly. They really, like, when I was invited recently to peer review, they really like lay out the red carpet of making you feel like you really did a good job for science. And it sucks because I do think it's good. Like, it's good to like be part of this process. It's an honor to be part of the peer review process, don't get me wrong, but oh man, they truly like make you like try to feel real good about it, and like you just spent 10 hours. I spent a long time reading that paper, mostly because it was so dense. I don't have a problem with ethics class. I just don't understand what the rebellion history has to do with engineering. Why are we giving projects to make films about them? Well, I do like the filming part. I think it's cool, but sometimes it feels so disconnected from what I'm studying and why so many essays. It gets overwhelming. I think it's important to be pretty well-rounded, even if you're in engineering, science, whatever you are. I think being in tune with the arts is very important for a scientist. You shouldn't be I think for anyone, I don't think any one person should be your focus should never just be on your one field, you know? You should try to have a broad mind. That's how you get, good thinking, good innovations, good thoughts, good brain power is when you are not hyper-focused on one field. And stuff like learning history, it's pretty important. It's important to know what happened before you, and perhaps maybe take away some lessons of how that could affect your own technology that you create in the future. I am a big proponent of well-rounded scientists. I want the scientists to be artistically in tune. I want them to know their history. I want them to be understanding of people, sociology, psychology, understand anthropology. And essays are good. I know they don't seem fun in the moment, but it's good. They're good. It's very good to be able to learn how to write about anything. Learning how to be able to defend your points, even if you're not interested in those points, it's good. It's good practice. Well-rounded is important in a lot of ways. Before any particular profession, you should aim to be a good person. Plenty of engineers and many other professions besides have worked for bad people and bad organizations. Very true. Understanding that history of why, you know, what bad things have happened before, it's very important. Okay, even when it's boring, I'll try to pay attention. Now I know how to make short films and do cinematography and editing for some reason, which I'm not sure how I will use in the future. You know, even if you don't learn how to use it, that's okay. I think an important thing to know is sometimes not everything we're gonna learn is gonna be immediately or understandably, like, impactful. It's okay sometimes if we learn something and it's never getting used ever. Like, I learned how to do derivatives. I will tell you, I don't apply any of that knowledge of calculus or anything ever in my professional or day-to-day life. And, you know, that's okay. I got to understand why it's important and also help with my, like, problem-solving skills and, yeah, just, it's more about, like, what other things were you able to learn from that? Don't like how that turned out. You can make a good thing with engineering. How do you make people care about it? That's what video making and cinematography can be useful for. Very true. The engineers who developed sub-millisecond trading algorithms that snag millions of instances of fractions of a cent in profit were just doing a job, and a technically demanding and interesting job, but it winds up benefiting a handful of big banks that can afford to do it at the expense of everyone else. Very true. Very true. Anyway, I've heard so many, like, when I was in undergrad, so many of my CS, like, computer science friends, they would go bemoan, like, all the electives that they were forced to take, things like psychology and, like, English writing. They would just go, oh, why do I have to take this? I'm just gonna be like a software engineer who doesn't have to talk to anyone anyway. And I just go, you fool, you absolute fool. I think especially when it comes to, what is it, writing? I think people might need to take even more writing classes. I don't think we take enough writing classes. I don't think we're making our people write enough essays. I think people need to write even more essays. The arguments I see constructed online are not very well sound. I need people to do better at communicating their points. If you're poorly communicating like that on the internet about some interest of yours, I don't know how you are surviving in your job. I can't imagine you're winning anyone over with those arguments. Or the programmers who put together the optimized rent prices for profit algorithms, same sort of technically interesting seal-needing application, and one whose outcome is unlikely to really affect a highly paid programmer, but definitely affects everyone else. And yes, you are super right. And that's why being this well-rounded person, being just a good person, is pretty important. Let's just be good people, you know? Is that too much to ask? Oh boy, even working with landlords feels so icky. I've seen some people talking about, you know, when they work with some huge, very ethically, I struggle to use the word ambiguous, but some ethically not maybe great companies, and I go, man, you know, it must suck. It's hard to say no to the giant bag of money sometimes these companies offer. So it's hard to completely blame, you know, the ones who decide to work for such companies. We're all just wheels. We're wheels in the capitalist system. I can sympathize with some smaller landlords and random older people who have second home types, but I own other people's houses. Should never be someone's primary employment. Oh yeah, or those companies that are just straight up, you know, they just own a whole bunch of property all over the place. Yeah, that feels not great. I feel like I've only once have I lived somewhere where I felt like I was renting from you know, a teeny tiny older, you know, small landlord. I felt like they were on the same level as me. Most times it feels like, oh, my landlords are they're in a different, way different tax bracket than me. Which reminds me, I gotta pay rent soon. Maybe part of it is what I've been taught conflicting with what I'm being taught. I've been taught when I was a child that things that aren't relevant and practical to the current subject should not connect with what's relevant. That's why my dad tends to look down on my creations when it's more artsy instead of practical and function focused. It was my initial training. I think, Joseph, it's okay to, you know, I think what your family seems to have taught you, I don't think I necessarily agree with it. I think it's okay to have things that aren't exactly functional. And I think it's important to figure out, you know, how to connect subjects. Even if they seem very different at first, you should be able to learn how to connect them in some way or another. And even if they don't exactly connect, that's okay. That's fine too. It's good to create a well-rounded brain. I've only rented from a guy like that once. He was a good guy. I left the place on good terms and in great condition. Still didn't get a cent of my security deposit back. I don't think that exists. I don't think I've ever gotten a security deposit back, and not my own, like, I didn't do anything wrong. I just don't think that exists. I don't think that security deposit, it's not a security deposit. It's just putting money into a black hole. Security deposits is just a way of saying, I want to charge more, but want to call it something else. That's exactly how it feels. You might as well just be calling it, I'm tipping my landlord. Context is always relevant. There's a degree of focus required for some things, but you wouldn't build a bridge in the middle of a farm field. It may be technically impressive, but if it doesn't connect two places in a useful way, it's just a vanity project. That's also true. I am just someone else, I'm partially biased. I just really like learning. I'm learning stuff and things. Just enjoy learning stuff and things. Learning stuff and things is just kind of fun. Wish I had more time to learn random stuff and things. Maybe it really is, as I've said, it was what I was trained on. You know, my dad thinks what I do in school is a waste of time and regrets the education of the institution. It's that training part of me coming out. Well, you know, Joseph, no one here is we're not here to tell you what is right or wrong. And it's really up to you to figure out what you want to pursue and what you are interested in and what you want to and that could be against your father's wishes, or it could be something else. You create your own. You can take some parts of that, his thoughts, and meld it with your own thoughts of how you want to approach learning and school. But I will just say I enjoy learning and being a well-rounded person. It's not for everyone. When I was younger, I I really wanted to be an artist. And so I had a lot of like, I feel more of an art background than a lot of the people I saw in my science classes. I really liked art and I really liked writing. I liked all these things that a lot of my fellow scientists kind of just did not like. But you know, it brought me a lot of joy to figure out how I could apply what I really was interested in and what I grew up working on into science when I got into the sciences. Especially when it came to like art. I used a lot of drawing to figure out how to communicate some of my like science research topics. I used to make a lot of graphical abstracts because I found that it was way easier to communicate what I wanted to like explain my research project with a drawing. I used to love writing poems and stories and stuff, but it got embarrassed out of me when people would like rate everyone's bags for diaries back in elementary school. I never experienced anything like that. Oh, hello again, Ripco. And he got me successfully the second autoclave. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I wrote a lot of like fan fiction and stuff, especially fan fiction, but it was all online, so there was, I guess, no way for someone to bully it out of me. Frankly, I wish I could put some nice art together for some of the presentations I've had to do. Oh, thank you for the hydration. We're slow down, but still semi-busy. Okay, I appreciate the autoclave in the middle of the busy work. Yeah, I really liked, I had art that I put together when I did my my qualifying exam, and I had to do a presentation to my committee. A lot of it had art that I put together, and they were really impressed with that. Especially when I was like, they were like, did you use BioRender? I was like, nope, I drew this. But then, as you would expect from a grad school committee, one of them was like, I feel like the time you spent drawing could have been spent time doing more of like some more data collection. I'm like, yeah, buddy. Yap, 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 yap. What fan fiction did you write? I wrote like there wasn't any specific franchise, but I wrote a lot of just random anime. If I liked the anime series, I would just write random like stories and fanfic about the characters I like and them interacting. I would also write like, where'd you post it? I say I wrote it online, but I wrote it on my computer on a notepad, and then I wouldn't post it anywhere. I would just have like the file saved locally, and then I wouldn't post it anywhere because I didn't know where to post it. I didn't know where to I didn't want to like make an account and get like other people to read it. I just wanted to write it for myself. I had like also original fantasy stories that I wrote myself too. It would have been nice teasing material. Honestly, I don't even think I'd be that embarrassed by it. All it is like, at most, the worst things about... I wonder if I can find some. I think, unfortunately, it's all like locally saved on a really old Gateway desktop, and I don't think I would be able to... I don't know where that Gateway desktop is anymore. Those giant like white desktops. We had one in our basement, and I don't know where that is anymore. I wonder if there's anything I posted online. I used to roleplay a lot too, like, you know, on forums. like, you know, just pretend and like do dialogue. It's just, that's basically like writing a story but with other people. I used to do that a ton as a kid. I don't think you'd be able to find any of that either. I'm trying to think if any of the forums I used are still around, but probably not, because most forums died. There were a lot of them. A lot of the role-playing adventures I did were on the where they were on the RuneScape forums. RuneScape used to have like the members only forum, and they had like a RP section, and I used to RP there all the time. I RP'd there so many times, and I was like 12 years old, and I think I was the reason, like, they did not like me on the RP forum there because I was 12 years old and I was underage, and you're not supposed to be on RuneScape if you're 12 years old. I think I got banned. If I remember correctly, enough people like reported me and they were upset, and then I got banned from the forums. I had a lot of posts on the RuneScape and FunOrb forums. It's mostly RuneScape. I did a lot of Gaia Online posts too. Never on the RP section. We didn't cross paths. They made me forum moderator once because I made a lot of nice informational posts. That's cool. I made a lot of role plays that were based on existing media, and then because people didn't like how popular those threads I made were, they enacted like a forum, they made a forum rule that the RPs they can't be based on a franchise. You could only RP original material. And I was like, this is so stupid. Why'd you target ban me? Like, these people were hating on a 12-year-old so much that they target banned me. I think after that, I went to the Gaia Online forum, and I RP'd there. But then I stopped. I didn't really get into too much RPing after that. I think I started getting too busy, and I did mostly just post on like about Gaia Online, the like community discussion stuff. I'm just looking at the art for one. It's looking so good. Oh, thank you, Frost. Thank you, thank you. I really liked talking about the website. I don't know why. And I think to this day I'm still like that. I really like talking about the game and like the state of games and how a game is like shaping up. But then the moment, like, I don't even care if I'm playing the game. I just like talking about the state of things. I love talking about like game design balance and all that. There's an alternate timeline where I like worked on game design of some kind. Well done on the coloring. Thank you, Jessam. Thank you, thank you. Welcome back from the ad break if you were stuck there. I'm listening to we're listening to the Maple Story playlist right now. And Maple Story is one of those games I don't play it as often as I like because I'm usually so busy, and that game is an MMO, and MMOs are time wasters, as we've gone over many times in this discussion. However, I really like keeping up to date with what the game is up, like how the game is turning out. I like seeing the balance decisions. I like seeing updates. I like talking about the game, but then I don't even really play the game. Something about just talking about the game, so fun. Playing the game, I don't know about playing the game. I don't know about playing the game. Why play game when fun talk about game? I get that. One of my favorite time wasters is League of Legends. I'd be playing that game way more if I had freedom. That game is quite a time waster. I know, like, it takes forever to climb in that kind of game, and like if you really want to be good at the game, and usually like if I'm playing a game like that, it's because I want to be good and I want to improve my skills, etc., etc. That's like a huge time commitment. And man, oh man, those kind of games, like I really want to play more teamfight tactics. I'm really close to master this set. I played quite a bit during my winter break, but I haven't been able to play lately because I'm just so busy. But I really like this current set. It's just such a time commitment, you know? I feel like I think I've played like 150 games of TFT this set so far, and that's like, I feel like that took so long to play that many games, but I'm gonna need to play like even way more games if I want to climb even higher, and that just takes so long. Like one game lasts like 30 to 40 minutes, like, oh my gosh, that's a long time. That's a long commitment. I climbed a diamond in 2 weeks. Wow, playing Pike mid. Wow, look at you. But I have thousands of thoughts of run match behind that effort. Yeah, it takes so long to get good at these kind of games. Takes so long. I've been considering things in regards to art that are something I wish to create and may not have much of a practical purpose, but I think I want to create it. I think many people may hate it and others might find it useful, but I don't feel scared. You should do it, Josem. Create what the heart wants to create. If you're motivated and feel like wanting to create something, create it. Most of it, honestly, is watching coaching videos of other people getting coached that made me spike in my improvement at the game, and watching funny videos to learn what characters do. Yeah, I think that's also a thing for games that have a skill component to it. There's like tons and tons of resources nowadays, especially depending on what game you're like trying to get better at. Like, for example, I really would love to get better at Super Smash Bros. Melee, and nowadays, the amount of resources to get better at that game, there are so many resources. There's like tons and tons of videos, there's so many paid guides, there's so many like coaches available. You can do a lot to get better at that game. However, the amount of hours now to get to like a level that's pretty good, it's so high now because of the fact there's so many resources, you know? Like the general skill level for a lot of games, it's up so much higher than it was a few years ago because, I mean, you have everything you need to be as good as you can be. It's just a matter of, do you have the time to do all that? You have the willpower and motivation to do all that? I think in general, like, the internet is like as big as it's ever been. It's also like maybe even the most skilled that it's ever been, because we have endless resources. Without having someone to help you parse the resources, it's so overwhelming. When I'm learning Tekken, I gave up following most resources, stuck to 2 to 3 content creators max. Yeah, I think that's kind of what you have to do. There's just like, it's a bit overwhelming how many resources you can collect now. But I feel like it's a good problem, you know? It's way better than, again, bringing up Super Smash Bros. Melee. Before, it was really, really difficult. And when I say before, I mean like in the 2000s. Like, a lot of information was just kind of difficult to find. And you kind of had to know, a guide to really get anywhere. You also had to, like, play that game physically. There was no online component. Like, there was no way to play it on your PC. You had to have a GameCube and the control, like, and then so you had to know the people physically IRL to play with you to get better at this game. There's a whole lot of barriers of entry to Melee. But now you have endless resources and you can play it online and learn whenever you want, and there's training resources. It's just like anyone can be good at this game now. But then there's still only a few people that are actually really, really good because of how much time it takes to be really, 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 really good. And it makes me wish we had endless time in our days. I feel like there's a degree of skill transfer when you learn to parse a game in a specific way. Oh, I completely agree. I think there's a lot of transfer of skill when you go game to game. The fact you're up there in TFT will make you automatically better at most games, barring the mechanical component. Yeah, I think it's, to me, when sometimes I see the top players of certain games, and then when I see them go to a different game, they really pick up on a new game really fast, and it's because they probably know how to parse that information really well. Like, is it like a surprise to me that some of the pro TFT players, they were previously like in professional league teams? Not really. Or that they were good at another game, like they were maybe good at Hearthstone or like whatever strategy game or a card game. It's not really a surprise. Like, the people good at a game, they keep being good at other games. Like, whatever they touch, if they want to be good at it, they have the abilities to go be good at that. I rarely ever see like someone good at a game go be bad at most games, you know? If you're particularly good at a game like Binding of Isaac, you'd only be good at crushing it at MMO raid bosses or MOBAs. I'm pretty good at Binding of Isaac, but I'm definitely like, I've seen people way better than me, and I'm like, oh yeah, they are like really, really good. They are like good. We should play Binding of Isaac also. Maybe I'll put that on my stream schedule. That sounds kind of fun. Kind of sounds relaxing. It sounds like yapping. But I really wanted to play Terraria next week, so I must avoid putting more things on in my to-do list. Binding of Isaac is very relaxing. I've got a terrible habit of binge that game when stuff's not going that great. Currently like 6 months over from that game. My favorite streamer, Northern Lion, he was like, when I was younger, I would watch his YouTube videos of him, and he's just playing that, and he's got like hundreds and hundreds of episodes of playing that game, and it would just be kind of like my comfort. That's the comfort watch, watching this Canadian bald man talk about life while Binding of Isaac is playing in the background. Wait, he's Canadian? Yeah, he's Canadian. He's from Vancouver. automatically slightly more interested in his existence. He is. I highly recommend Northern Lion. He's like what people dream of yapping like. I too wish to yap just like him one day. I love supporting most things Canadian because of my positive experience with Canadian products and grocery stores and small businesses. That's nice. That's lovely. I've heard a lot of there's that big movement of like, you know, supporting local, especially with Canadian. For unsurprising reasons. Canada is always super nice whenever I go visit. A lovely little country. Little, but not actually that little. That place is huge. Atomic Iceberg. It will be a slice of life story in an alternate history world about space race and AI tech. I wish for it to be told through comics. Go, Joseph. I support your artistic endeavors. Go. There was a time I really wanted to make a webcomic. I think this was like in 2014, 2015, because I feel like everyone I followed on Tumblr at that time, they had their own webcomic, and I would go like, I wish I want to do my own webcomic. I want to tell a story through illustration, but I was like always too nervous about committing myself to a webcomic, and then I never did anything with that. But then I remembered, like, as of recently, I've seen so many of the people I looked up to on like Tumblr who had their own webcomics, and they go, yeah, creating a webcomic destroyed my love of art and like drawing, because it was so demanding and I would have to draw so many things every single week, like, or every single day, and it took a lot out of me. And when I didn't get any support on the things, it made me question it was so many artists that I looked up to had that experience, and I was like, well, maybe I dodged a bullet overcommitting. A lot of Canada feels little because of how easy it is to get places with public transport. I find it wild that I can sleep in a bus for 2.5 days and cross an entire US and reach Vancouver, and it only costs 50 CAD. That's so cheap. That is pretty crazy. If you make a webcomic with your art style, you would absolutely crush it. Just make a little zine, as the kids call it, 4 to 12 panel webcomics. I think if I were to make a comic, it would be something very, very low committal. I think that's how people do it nowadays. They don't really. It's very low commitment. It's just back in that 2014 era, everyone was trying to tell a story, like a very long years drawn out story with their art. And it's no surprise that, unfortunately, like, the story that you're drawing, like, you've been trying to tell for like 4 years, it's kind of wearing on you that it's still not over, and you're still having to make stuff for that. I think that I kind of get it. There's an Instagram page I really like that I follow, that's like a video webcomic about 2 cats. It's really inspired to make a secret story writing cute animation. You should do that! You should totally do that! That sounds adorable also. think if I didn't have if I didn't have a lot on my plate already, it'd be kind of fun to do stuff like a little web comic or like any kind of just comic page. But I already have quite a bit on my plate, and I'm pretty happy with the things I got on my plate, so I'm good for now. Maybe in the future, if I wasn't happy with what was on my plate, then I maybe would consider. But because I like what I'm doing right now, I'm fine letting one thing fall off the side for now. Because, you know, I can always pick that up if I wanted to. This webcomic story goes really in-depth with these anthropomorphic cats having different expectations, relationships, and poor communication fights. It's so detailed. Had me hooked for a solid half an hour just getting through all their reels this random midnight. Oh, that sounds so cool! Well, Frost, I'm sure if you wanted to, you could totally make something like that. I think, you know, it's one thing to be discouraged making it because you don't have time, but you should definitely try not to discourage yourself if you feel like, oh, you're worried it's not gonna be successful or something. Like we were saying earlier, we can't like be scared of failure. That's not a good thing. It's understandable though if you're like, I don't know if I can commit a time to it. I get it. Unless you're telling yourself stories, you know. Unless you're making up what you're busy with, then you might. That's an issue. I really don't like how that turned out. It's hard to do anything until I get a job. I feel so guilty for putting time into my creative projects or my VTuber. Oh, I get it. It is difficult. There truly is this I get that. When I was in grad school, it's obviously a bit different than looking for a job. But I had a hard time feeling like I could do anything creative because I was like, I could be doing more things like data analysis and work on my thesis instead of like a creative project. I should do that. And especially like when you're in those positions, everyone's telling you if you're not thinking about your work 24/7, are you even like trying to like be a successful scientist? And it's like, okay, I'll do all that, I guess. Humans back then in the caveman days made art too. I wonder what it is about human nature that desires to create art. Is art relevant to human survival? Wow, you know, like that is a question a lot of people ask themselves. Because we have seen, you know, like you said, we've seen like the little doodles and bear paintings, all that are in the cave, in the caves. It surely is part of like human survival. Has to do with likely bonding, development. It's all personal. It's pretty personal though, but you know, for me, I feel like I can't imagine a world without art. It wouldn't feel very human. A good deal of meaning is formed by expressing whimsy or sharing life experiences. Very true, very true. had not cried hearing the stories of my favorite JRPG characters, I would not feel as complete as I do today. Yeah, I mean, hearing like stories told by other people, being moved by writing and music, it's all part of like, it's so formative to the human experience we have. It's hard to imagine there's anyone out there that doesn't feel like some part of artistic creation didn't like, you know, motivate them. I wonder what a civilization without art looks like. Can a civilization even form without art? You know, I don't think it would be hard to prove that. I don't think there's, especially, let's say there is a civilization that we had historically that doesn't have any pieces of art that we can find nowadays, but who knows if there were things that we just can't find anymore, or things like art that's not exactly physical. Like music is a form of art, and that would be difficult to preserve and find now. I have a hard time believing there's any civilization, a human civilization out there without art. A lot of art is formed during an attempt at innovation. A lack of any media to appreciate life would make it hard for any society to survive. So it is relevant to human survival. I am no anthropologist, so it's difficult, you know, to answer these questions. My answers would all be biased in that I am speaking from someone who appreciates human art and finds that's like some of the most beautiful things we got in our life. I see. I don't know any anthropologists though. I mean, you could always go. You don't need to directly ask any. I'm sure if you did some research online, you can find these kinds of discussions with anthropologists that answered. There might be even like books about it. There might be even Reddit threads about it. Honestly, like Reddit is a good source for a lot of information. The problem is you have to do some other digging usually. That's not just Reddit. Honestly, I feel like I get so many, like, I jumpstart so many of my answers to questions just using Reddit. There's an entire dead end thing in Reddit where you have subreddits polluted with AI that responds to AI. Yeah, I know. You have to be careful. Of course, as always, you have to be careful with with what information you're pulling out of. I think especially if you're looking at Reddit threads that come from current year or even last year, it's pretty bad. I've noticed that there was so much of that AI threads with AI responses. When I was looking up some information about computer parts, I was trying to figure out what part I should get, and there were so many threads that were just like, this is just AI. Like, it's not. There's not a single human person here. It's terrifying seeing them on YouTube as well. I've seen such a terrible influx of AI commentators and so many farming top comments too. They write top comments within, yeah, the AI is everywhere. It's so hard to avoid it. I've noticed, I got a homepage recommendation of a video, and it was just like everything about the video was AI. I'm pretty sure the script was AI. It was voiced by an AI. The images were AI generated. It was like just an AI video essay for other AI bots, and the comments were just all AI too. It was the weirdest thing ever. I think that's getting quite popular, like utilizing AI to just pump out videos, and they're not great. They're not great. There's entire Instagram pages that are entirely automated. Each slide is AI generated, and the comments are full of boomers being misinformed. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. I don't even think it's just boomers anymore. I feel like so many people are falling for like the misinformation of AI. When there's a subreddit called "Is This AI?" and I think a lot of young people use that because they really can't tell what's AI anymore. And I say that because people will throw accusations of something being AI, and it makes no sense to accuse that thing of being AI, you know? So it's like they are missing the fundamental reasoning of how to accuse something of AI to begin with. I feel like I've had much experience with those. It's for the best you don't. It's not very good entertainment. It's just garbage, really. Oh, one thing I did find funny recently, because there's so many subreddits on nowadays that are asking, is this AI? Is this AI? Is this AI? Is this AI? They have like one of those like jokey subreddits about that, and they just post the most ridiculous AI images and videos and GIFs. Like, they're so over the top, and it's like pretending like you don't realize this is AI or not. It's like dogs shooting old people with water guns. It's like flowing from their mouth, or cats playing instruments and like on the porch, and then an old person complaining that like the cat's playing the instrument too loud. It's just like super duper duper like over the top, and I have to say, it's kind of funny. It feels like brain rot though. It's super rotting of the brain. But I'm not gonna lie, I do like those videos of the dogs shooting water out of their mouth. Make me laugh. I really don't want to promote any of these pure Instagram channels to disgust me in concept. I know, it's terrible. I stick to human science communicators like Kyle Hill, Tyler Fultz, and Star Talk. I mean, as you should, but even nowadays, I'm not to say that those people are using AI generated content or not, but I know a lot of content creators, they are getting a lot of like script writing help with AI. So even though they are human presenting, sometimes their scripts can still be quite, unfortunately, AI filled. It's what I've noticed for some random channels I've seen, like recommended to me. Like I'm like, I can tell this person is reading from a purely AI generated. Oh no, yes, I figured Frost. I got what you were putting down. Those ones are literally like detrimental. It's like causing harm to people. I don't mind their writing as long as it's factual. Well, the problem is sometimes it's not factual. Or there's also the issue of sometimes it's factual. This is a more common one. I think AI is depending on the user, AI is getting a bit better at generating things that aren't exactly, they're not straight up fake. But AI will put overemphasis on the importance of certain facts when it's not actually as important or as groundbreaking as it sounds, if you know what the subject matter is, you know? And I think it's like issues like that. It's not really about factualness. It's like, is this really as big as they're trying to convey to me? Is this really as important as it's trying to convey to me? Am I getting all the facts too? Sometimes that's another issue. Like, you got you have a general sense of like the truth, but it's missing some of the key details, you know? I think that's some of the aspects of like these AI generated scripts they usually are missing. Usually. And that's like when you're actually good at prompt engineering a good script. A lot of times if you're not good at, like, if you tell ChatGPT to tell you something and then you just take that straight up, you're probably not getting a really good script. I wish more people use AI for good. Yeah, but here we are, unfortunately. There is still, I'll say, a lot of good happening. There's a lot of good uses of AI in the healthcare space being right now. But a lot of people using it are definitely just looking to quickly get some money and take advantage of people's lack of understanding and, you know, naivety. AlphaFold is absolutely amazing. I love it. Yeah. Wrong pen. I wanted to make local AI powered glasses that can parse text like I need to get my groceries before 4 p.m. and create a little interface bubble on the slide with a timer and a review. Augmented reality can be so amazing with AI. It can simulate that quest except the feeling to gamify real life. I think there are definitely interesting and cool applications that we just, I feel like, have yet to see. Instead, we get misinformation and scams. Thank you. Thank you, people. There's even like a lot of science-y applications I'm waiting for AI to really take over. I've been thinking about how much there is so much raw data, like science raw data out there, and it's just impossible at this point for people. There's no time, there's no money also, there's no like, no one is going to look through and parse and sequence and analyze all this raw biological data out there, but it's like such an easy job for AI. But we are getting closer to that though. I saw there was a program now that can take single cell sequencing transcriptome data. Oh, hello, Gren. Hope you had a good dinner. Yeah, they can take single cell transcriptome data and analyze that, and that takes so long. It's the most annoying kind of data analysis you can imagine doing. Every single data point in a single cell sequencing data, one data point equals one cell and all the genetic information inside that cell. And so it takes forever to figure out the patterns of what you're looking for when you did your analysis. You just have all this data. It's so much data. It's just so much data. When I was in grad school, we had a lot of that, and it was difficult. I had to find patterns without feeling like I'm looking at it and my own biased like mindset of how I want to confirm my hypothesis. I'm like, I feel like this gene pattern is being expressed, but I don't know if it's actually just me or like I'm finding something that's actually not there. And to confirm it, I'd have to do experiments, and the experiments are kind of expensive. So to confirm, it's just like, it's so difficult. But if you had AI and you threw it into a black box and it just told you, whoop-de-doo, this is what you got, that would go crazy. Joseph, I don't know those creators like that well. I'm not saying anything about them. I was just talking in general, you know. If they are trustworthy, I'm sure, like, that's good. I'm just saying in general. I've seen certain channels, and it's hard to not like. I think a lot of they're not huge, but like I think a lot of mid-sized channels, they are going towards like AI video editing and script writing, because they have to compete with the amount of videos that AI like channels are pumping out, and they get so many views. I've seen like completely AI generated channels, like everything is AI, like down to like there's no human in the loop anymore, and they get like hundreds of thousands of views because people don't really care. When your livelihood depends on pumping out content, reduced effort is very difficult. It's very difficult to ignore. I mean, it's always been the case. Like, if people want to figure out like how to skip the effort, if there's like livelihood, like if there's money involved, they're gonna be like, well, why should I have to do hours and hours of research and script writing and all this when guy number 2 over there who has 1 million subs in like a month can just throw everything into ChatGPT. Oh, autoclave. Failed. Thank you for the autoclave. You failed though. 2 million followers. That's insane. But it's definitely becoming a huge problem on YouTube. I've seen there's a lot of shorts channels nowadays that are just garbage AI. And I mean that in that there's nothing interesting here. And they have millions of followers. If I replicate their effort, I could secure my livelihood and not be at risk of any problems from my unemployment. Yeah, it's not a surprise. It's one of those things. It's hard to blame the person. We live in a society, you know what I mean? Sounds like survival-centric tactic. Yeah, I mean, I think it is. I think sometimes I have heard that a lot of these AI channels and pages, they're kind of like giant farms, you know? They're not just running one AI page, they're usually running a lot of AI pages. And it's not just like usually one person, it's like a huge group of people doing all this. It's kind of like gold farming in MMOs, which is usually when you are generating the currency of the game in perhaps maybe a not a legal manner, and then selling that currency to other players. It's like they're just trying to get theirs, you know? They are doing everything they can to survive. When you live in a third world country, getting paid in USD can pay you way more than a job. Yeah, exactly what I was saying with the gold generating bots. A lot of them are usually not in the US, and you're paying them USD to do something that takes no effort. Of course they're gonna take it. This AI page has 10 like it, and the one person allegedly a guy from Africa who's on LinkedIn who sold some of the accounts to secure their livelihood. That's also a thing. It's because a lot of times you can just sell, you can flip these pages. There's always someone out there who wants to buy a page with high viewers, high followers. USD could set me for months, years. Yeah, I mean, it's powerful currency. A page with 2 million followers could go for something crazy like 150k USD, I've heard. That's so crazy. But I guess, you know, it's a lot of followers. It's a lot of followers. Suddenly getting 2 million followers for your business, or I don't know, something to set up a career. I think a lot of times I've seen people say influencers kind of come out of nowhere, and it's usually because they buy these kind of pages that have a huge platform to begin with. 100k USD is unreal in a third world country. That's 10 to 20 years. Yeah, that's a lot of money. Even in America, I feel like someone would absolutely do this kind of stuff just to have 150k. Especially if you tell them they don't have to find anything. They don't have to find a job. They just have to sit at home and like do some algorithm, like AI, like generated garbage. Yeah. 200 years of salary for a person works. It's insane. It's insane money. Maybe the problem all came when the internet became monetizable. Now that I feel like everything bad, like now that you can make money off the internet so easily, it's kind of been crazy. I think that's about it. I can keep editing it, but it's mostly gonna be teeny tiny details. I'm happy with how it looks. Maybe the system the problem. True, Joe, capitalism, the economy, it might be a problem. Anyway, we streamed for 3 hours today. I told you I was gonna make it up that we only had a teeny tiny 30-minute stream yesterday. Okay, I have to go and stretch my legs and do stuff and be active and all that, but I know those 3 hours sure did fly by. Thank you guys for hanging out. That was very fun, and we got to finish a drawing. We finished our drawing. I'll post this. I will maybe get the Instagram going now that we have this. But thank you guys for hanging out. If you are in America in the storm, the view of this, if you are in the path of the ice storm and snowstorm, please be safe, be warm, take it easy. I hope you guys take care of yourselves. I will be posting a stream schedule probably Monday. Yeah, ice storm. That's what they called it. Like a lot of places, they're not gonna get snow. They're gonna get ice storms because it's so cold, but not cold enough really for the snow to stick. So it's just ice, like hailing down, and it's freezy and awful. Dangerous, very dangerous. So if you're in that position, be careful. I'll keep you guys updated on Discord and social media. So yeah, thank you for hanging out. I will see you guys again next week. Bye. Bye.